Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we did the Senate prediction for the midterms in the last video, and today we're going to be doing this month's House prediction because redistricting is in full effect, and we'll update that on this map as well. Does seem like Missouri, Indiana, and Florida are going to make their maps a little redder. Does also seem like on the flip side, California next month is going to pass the resolution to make their map a little bit bluer, but still it is a massive net positive for the Republicans trying to rectify some wrongs. You look at Illinois, you look at what they've done in places like New York, what's already the case in California, Maryland, the Northeast, Oregon. I mean, these are the biggest victim players in the world. And then we see what happens with the whole Charlie Kirk thing and the Jay Jones thing. And it's like, why give an inch to the opposition anymore? Like, seriously, if you have an opportunity to limit the power, you might take it, because they're not playing by the rules they claim to care about. They're not playing by the rules of democracy. They're not playing by any of that. We understand that, which is why Republicans just need to give them a little taste of their own medicine. Now, in this video, I'm not going to do the whole VRA hypothetical where the South could possibly add like 10 red seats. I'm not going to be doing that. If it happens, it happens. It would be great, in my opinion, if it did, because they're antiquated provisions, and the Supreme Court has a big duty to look over them properly. They didn't do that last time. But regardless, if that happened, I don't see Democrats winning the House, which, again, keep in mind, before we do this map, this is a midterm year, and it's a midterm year where you have a president in power that is a Republican. And even though Trump's approval rating, I think it's a little bit better than a lot of these polls have it at, I think that I know that it's better than it was in 2017, despite the economy being a little bit better back then, or 2018, I should say. And Trump's approval has a lot of room to go up, especially with all these, peace deals, if they're actually going to be effective and followed through. Well, that would be a policy win for him. Absolutely, it would, ahead of the midterms, adding momentum. That's what you want to do. He passed the big, beautiful bill. If the economy improves next year, the sky's the limit. But already, you're kind of in like the lull of the presidency, you could even say, and it doesn't matter. You look at the betting odds here on Call Sheet. Republicans are at 36% chance to win the House, which is honestly incredible. And that is, I believe, the highest odds that they have had of the entire market going all the way back to November. So that is huge. And Republicans, in my opinion, are a little bit undervalued. And Kalshi, that's what I use. I use it if I want to, do any form of political betting. And you guys can too. I'll put the link in the description. We have a code for it. RED, you get $10 free if you join, assuming that you legally are able to join. Feel free to do it. But 36% odds, that's pretty good. That is pretty good in my opinion. But we're going to look at the map because I think that you could make the case. You could make the case that it's higher than 36%. And I understand the caution that a lot of people are kind of exhibiting about this sort of thing. Midterm year, last midterm, Republicans were out of power. You had an unpopular Biden. They kind of underperformed. But this time around, could they overperform? Well, the maps were gerrymandered to favor the Democrats by and large in more states than the inverse in 2022. Now Republicans, could they get even this cycle? Well, we're about to find out. Alabama, doesn't seem like there's going to be any movement. Nothing in Alaska. Arizona, there's 2 seats here. Now, David Schweikert, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's making a big mistake. Republicans could find somebody that could win this seat, but as of right now, I'd have to say Democrats would be favored in at least 51 out of 100 simulations, because this is a district that has been moving a little bit to the left. It's a swing district, but that strong incumbent is out of there. And you're not going to get the low propensity voters that carry Trump to victory in the district out as much, even though Arizona Republicans have been doing a lot better, which is why I think Juan Ciscomani will hold on in the 6th district there. So at least they get one of those. And keep in mind, 218, they're already to 213. Democrats have to nearly sweep the board in the toss-up races. Now, it is true California, Democrats, I believe, will redistrict the new map. Now, I don't know exactly like the full scope of what it's going to be, but like just for good measure, I think that the 13th, the 1st, the 3rd, and I think this district here are going to be the ones redrawn. They'll probably shore up some lean blue seats into their column. The map is going to be even more Democrat favorable than it is right now. Derek Tran in that district, it's going to be close. He is the incumbent. I guess he holds on. But if Katie Porter keeps going down the path that she's going down, that dummy mander could even break, because those coattails for the Republican, if they could put somebody strong up there, possibly could weaken the Dems. Now, Colorado, the 8th district, Gabe Evans, this is going to be a tight one. You have the former representative running in the seat who's a Democrat, but she's got like mental health issues or something, and it's not really the best look. But this is Colorado in a midterm year. Democrats are still, they're gaining in Colorado. I think they'll probably hold that seat, but I could see Gabe Evans win it as well. Keep in mind, the Democrat only really won in 2022 because of that third-party candidate, but still, it's just, I haven't seen enough evidence yet. If we get some polling with Evans up, maybe I'll just have to reconsider that designation. But Florida, I think Republicans are going to net here because they will redraw. They will gain a seat in the Tampa area. They will gain possibly even 2 in the Miami area and possibly 1 in Orlando. It's kind of a little bit of a bullish gerrymander here, but just assuming they get, we'll even say 4 seats, they're to 214. So they kind of just mitigated the damages from California. So nothing out of Georgia, nothing out of Hawaii or Idaho or Illinois. Indiana, I think that 1st district is going to be redrawn to knock out Mervan, even though he might still keep it close depending on what it ends up being at the end of the day. Iowa, this is an interesting one. Marionette Miller-Meek, she's not really that strong of a candidate. She manages to survive in midterm years for some reason by more, but she might get primaried out. I don't know. This one is tough because you're that much of an underperformer. Are you going to have a lot of those low propensity voters show up that carried Trump to the White House? Obviously, Miller-Meeks did win in 2022, but this is going to be close. And I might even be tempted to say Democrats might narrowly, just because of the coattails of Sand. I don't think he'll win. I think he'll lose by like 7, but that's a lot better than losing by 17 like the Democrat did in 2022. So nothing out of Kansas or Kentucky. Louisiana, they might redraw because of the VRA. We'll see. But Maine, this is one I think the Republicans will flip. Jared Golden's got a primary challenger. I don't think he's going to win, but I think that the primary challenger might give him a run for his money, weaken him, deplete some resources. And I think that when it comes down to the Republican, they're putting up Paul LePage. He's old, but he's won that district. It's going to be a close race. It's like a Trump plus almost 10 district as it stands now. I think Republicans are going to possibly have the upset there. Maryland, nothing, or Massachusetts, or, well, Michigan, there's several. We'll cover these. Tom Barrett's district and John James. John James has some coattails because he'll probably be the gubernatorial nominee. I think Republicans can find somebody to hold that seat. The Tom Barrett area, it's kind of more, these people, a lot of college-educated Republicans in that zone. I could see him holding on because I think Republicans in Michigan are actually going to have a decent year. I could be wrong, but he's the incumbent. He outran Trump in a part of Michigan, which is not easy to do. So nothing out of Minnesota or Mississippi. Missouri, I think Republicans, they'll at least get the 5th. You could even put that as likely. But as for the 1st, I don't know. That would probably come down to the VRA lawsuit. Nothing out of Montana or Nebraska or Nevada, although if this ends up being a good year for Republicans, that Hoover Dam could break and the dummy mander could just be 4-0 red, which was a dumb map for the Democrats to make, but it might last for now. New Hampshire, there's nothing there out of New Hampshire, although if Scott Brown jumped in and ran in the 1st district, he might have a shot. New Jersey, I think Keene holds on in the 7th. He pushed hard for those SALT deductions and he got them. New Mexico, I think Democrats hang on to the 2nd district there. A lot of those Trump-supporting Hispanics are presidential election-only voters. A lot of them, not all of them. We'll go to New York. Laura Gillen, that one's tough because, she's kind of, I think she knows she's in trouble because she would not endorse Zoran. But at the end of the day, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close. I'm not ready to say it's going to be a Republican flip just yet. North Carolina, this one is also going to be close. Don Davis. It comes down to the wire. If Republicans can find a candidate there, I think they've got a good shot. As of right now, I'll say tilt Democrat, but that's going to be an underratedly close race because of turnout dynamics, which actually favor Republicans in a midterm year, but nothing out of North Dakota. Ohio, this is going to be interesting. I think that even with a new map that has a red, Ohio's first landsman might still find a way to hang on, but I think that the new map is going to be enough for Republicans to win the 9th and the 13th districts there. Nothing out of Oklahoma or Oregon. Pennsylvania. Now, keep in mind, Republicans, they've already gained in the House. They're at 222. That's how screwed the Democrats are. And I think that Republicans, due to trends, due to just candidate quality in Pennsylvania 7th, they'll defeat whatever Democrat, although I think the Democrats might end up getting Scott Perry, catch them all a little off guard, which is sad, but that area is trending left pretty hard in the suburbs of Harrisburg. So nothing out of Rhode Island or South Carolina or South Dakota or Tennessee. Texas, this is going to be an interesting one. Henry Cuellar's seat, it's a little bit redder now, although it's also true. He's got legal trouble. He's got some primary coming up. Democrats, I don't know how much they're helping him, but if he survives the legal trouble, he could win because he is that overperformer. And like I said, a lot of those Trump-supporting Hispanics have tended to be presidential election-only voters, but still, given the partisan lean, given the Texas GOP strength, I think you could make the case that you'd see a higher chance Republicans win that district, but we'll see what happens. Now, Utah, they're redrawing the map to make Salt Lake City a little bit more competitive because of a rhino court order. However, it does seem as if Republicans down ballot are going to have less of an issue holding some of these seats because Republicans down ballot in Utah tend to do better than Donald Trump. So nothing out of Vermont. Virginia, I think Jen Kiggins will hold on. I don't even know who's running against her, but I think she'll hold on in that seat. She's a good fit for that district. Marie Perez, this is actually a pretty red district down ballot, but she's had enough crossover votes she can tout to hang on. I don't know what Republican's going to be running against her. It's not going to be Joe Kent again. Wisconsin, that 3rd district, Derek Van Orden, he's an underperformer. I don't think he does super well with the white working class voters. A lot of the statements he's made lately kind of back that up. I mean, the Democrat running against him, I don't know who that's going to be, but I probably would say that that's a seat Democrats have a decent shot at actually flipping, and then nothing out of Wyoming. So Republicans, a net of 5 seats. Well, is it possible? I think it is. Now, currently the market says 36%, but keep in mind that's more than doubled from what it was in April. So there's a lot of potential for Republicans in the House, and Democrats need to run the table basically at this stage in the game to have a shot to flip it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video, and hit the hype button if it's there. I don't even know how that works, but it's like a new feature on mobile, helps out the channel. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle out.